Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, John Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. Man, well, here we go. It's about to start up, y'all. This is what I've been waiting on. I don't really count Thursdays, even though my Cowboys got beat and whatnot, but I don't count Thursday, Sunday. It's football. That's when it all starts for me. I don't get, caught up in all that Thursday crap and stuff like that, which I think is, which season should start like it is today, and then Thursday come along. But that's just me. But this is a big season for a lot of different dudes, in my opinion. In my opinion and whatnot. There's it's like the old saying, "Shit to get off the pot," right? And it's just certain cats that I think say, okay, you got to show what you about and whatnot. And I have a list of different cats I'm gonna throw out there, man. And y'all can agree, disagree, or whatever. If you got some comments or whatever, throw them down there in the comment section. We can talk about it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video and stuff like that, and we keep going from there, man. One of the main people that I'm talking about right now, and I talked about this when he got drafted, but it was like a lot of times, in most cases, nobody want to hear what I got to say because they think I'm being biased or whatever, but it's not about being biased. It's just about football knowledge versus versus history. And I deal with it all. You know what I'm saying? So the first person on my thing is Christian McCaffrey. Christian did 1,000 back in, I guess that was 2019, I guess. And Roger Craig called it and stuff like that or whatever. But the team had a losing record. So although that was a nice accomplishment for him and what he did, they were sitting at home watching the playoffs like I was. So it didn't really mean nothing. In fact, and I've said this countless times, Christian McCaffrey hasn't been in the playoffs since Cam Newton left. Since he left, and plus, since he got hurt and left and was in New England now, he's, of course, I've already talked about that and everything. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like, guys like that is deep for me because in so many different cases and whatnot, it's like this guy's like, I want to see what he does this year. He was hurt basically all last year. Will he be able to take the punishment of every down back and doing all the stuff that they're doing with him and whatnot? So we'll see coming up this year and whatnot. Hell, you got 17 games, so something should come out of this. We'll see what happens, right? But, I'm like, the great Luther Vandross once said, make me a believer. You know what I'm saying? So, make me a believer. I want to see. But I want to not believe, I want to know. You know what I'm saying? What is he going to really do? Now we go back to OBJ. Odell Beckham Jr. We're going to see what's up, man. Again, you guys know, guys who've been rolling with me for a little while anyway, know how I already feel about that particular situation. Like, you take 2014, what has OBJ done since the big major one-handed catch? And I did compared the two careers with John Jefferson and OBJ. And I said what I said. All money ain't good money. And my man has been hurt. And this is a major year for him. If he messes around and flames out again, he's done. That's just my take on it. He's done. Talented wide receiver. Got the charisma. Got all the stuff that you want. Diva, whatever you want to call him and stuff like that. But it's like, you got to do something this year. If the Browns don't get it together, well, the Browns should be good, period. But you want to see exactly what it is that he's going to do. What is he going to actually bring to the table as a wide receiver, as one of the top wide receivers in the game for a couple years. And for the last few years, he hasn't done anything but be hurt. So this is going to be a major year for him. Josh Allen. We're going to see if last year was a fluke. Josh Allen, he's improved. One thing I like about his trajectory is that he has improved every year. So this past year was just like, last year was like 2020 was like, phew. He went to, he got his team to AFC championship game and all that kind of stuff, and he did all that. We will see what happens this year. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to be the second coming of Jim Kelly, if not better, should be better, but we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens. I'm always waiting to see that because I give guys 3 to 4 years, man. 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's guys that can sit up there and come off their first year and then they disappear for the next 5 or 6 years, and they just in the league. That happens a ton. So we'll see what happens. Guys make all rookie teams, might make them all pro, might make a Pro Bowl and all that stuff. But then you don't hear anything from them for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And when you look up, them guys are in their 30s, and it's like, damn, that's all they did, right? So so my eyes is on him. I talked about Cam already. Then Cam got cut. I don't think it's 32 other quarterbacks better than him. You're not going to tell that to me. Cam is just with his personality, how he rolls, and all of that stuff there. That plays a part. I would have loved to see Cam, and I talked about this once before, at Tennessee. But they got Tannehill. He's another guy who want to crown Tannehill and everything like that. But it's like, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If you shut down Derrick Henry, can Tannehill get you those W's as a major quarterback? Can he really get it done? And he has Julio Jones over there now, so there's really not a whole lot of excuses for that guy, right? Derwin James out of Florida State coming in all-pro first team, Pro Bowler, all of that, knocking jokers out and everything like that. Then he's been hurt the last 2 years, so he's finally supposed to be healthy this year. And was one of the top safeties for that year coming into that of the, I want to say the 2019-2020 seasons or whatever, one of them seasons. And Derwin James is just doing his thing, man. But it's just like he's been hurt. He's almost been hurt like the last 2 years. And he has got to get it. He's got to be right this year. He's got to come off this year. And I'm waiting to see that, because I'm like, treat a lot of them guys in the secondaries and stuff like that or whatever. I'm interested to see how it's gonna play with that. Even down to the Hebert or Herbert or whatever you call his damn name, the quarterback for San Diego. We're gonna see what he's gonna do, because they try to crown him already and whatnot. We've seen Zeke, not a great showing. His longest run was 13 yards, but they threw Dak a lot, and I think that was strategically done to see where his shoulder was at. And he balled. Unfortunately, lost. Offensive pass interference wasn't called, but it should never come to that. Like I've been saying for almost a decade now, Dallas has not had a serious pass rush since DeMarcus Ware was there. And if Dallas is trying to go anywhere close to sniff a NFC championship game, get to the damn division round, they're going to have to tighten up on the pass rush. And they just don't have that right now, at least for the first game. But it's, again, first week, I'm not tripping. Like I said, I always deal with games 8th, 9th week in the season, and then we can go ahead and start talking about it. That's when the real football is played, after the first 8 weeks, going down to the last 8 weeks, or I should say 9 weeks now. So that is one of the main things that has to be done now with these guys, and it needs to be addressed and whatnot, and whatever these guys are going to do. Dak, lights out. He looked good, just like he was looking good last year, right? Dak has all that. I think one of the main things is stopping Dallas, and I said this before. Now you've had that La'el Collins and the whole aspect of what's his name of Zach, right? The guard. You're missing him, and like I said, because if you looked at Tampa, on how Tampa rolled, they was like, Zeke is not. Two of y'all ain't gonna get us. We're going to have to take one of y'all. So they was geared up to stop the run. Now, a lot of people, oh, man, they did it. Hey, man, those guys are professionals on the other side, too. If you're good, you're good. And they wasn't letting him go nowhere. But they was throwing that, chunking that ball all over the field there. A lot of drops. CeeDee Lamb, you got to get them drops. You got to get them drops out of his repertoire, man. For him to sit up there and go to that next level, and for him to be the wide receiver that everybody thinks he will be, which I think he can be, he has to do something. He has to handle those drops. He has to get a beat on them drops and do what he needs to do. and whatnot. And those are some of the people that I'm looking for. Like, okay, what's going to happen this year? There's a few others. Jadeveon Clowney. I heard he's out. He's supposed to be out with some illness. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, dude, all that hype, all this, and he has all the tools. This is the year for a lot of players. Some of the players that I've named, this is their year to show, okay, I am either here, or I'm going to remain right here. And I just want to be able to see some of these guys do what they're going to do. It makes for great football. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of the football. I'm a Dallas fan and all that, but I'm a fan of good football being played. And I love when good football is being played. When good football is being played, that makes me feel good. So therefore, that's what I want to see. And regardless of has anything to do with Dallas or anything like that, when I see two teams play, I want to see good football played, not sloppy football played. Even though we're going to probably have a little sloppy football played these first couple of so weeks because, well, that's just what it is. A lot of these guys didn't play any during the preseason, right? So we're going to see what's up. A lot of jokers jumping off sides, penalties and all that. That kind of comes with the territory of the first week. So we'll see what ends up happening and whatnot. So, you know, and in a lot of different cases, man, it's just like those are some of the players that I'm looking for. And even down to Alvin Kamara. You know, people sit up and say, man, you be on Alvin Kamara, and I like Alvin Kamara. Don't ever get it. Don't get that twisted. My problem with Alvin Kamara is the way that Sean Payton has used him all the years he's with Drew Brees, and they've won. He's an integral part of that team. Now is he? I don't give a shit about Jameis Winston. I don't give a shit about Taysom Hill. I care about what are they going to do with Kamara. Will he come out and be the Marshall Faulk, the Thurman Thomas, or the LaDainian Tomlinson? That I know he has the ability to, but his numbers don't show that he scored some touchdowns, and that's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. But those yards are not there. Again, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. Let me remind you again. We're talking about Alvin Kamara. We're talking about a player who has not yet rushed for 1,000 yards in the NFL, where they always talk about numbers. And numbers is major. He hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards since high school. Didn't rush for it when he was playing at Tennessee or Alabama, and he hasn't rushed for it for the 4 years that he's been in the NFL. I need to see 1,200 and about 400 or 500 yards on the receiving end. Other than that, he's like a role player. I want him to be the bell cow. I want him to be that guy. And we're going to see what happens here today. We're going to see what happens in the season. So, you know, that's my little thing there, man. I'm ready to get it going, ready for it, ready to get it popping. And, you know, hey, man, football is back. Been watching a little college ball. Watched Texas got their asses waxed yesterday and whatnot. A&M come out with a nice victory. It's a nice defensive game. It's good to see some defense and whatnot. I'm always all about seeing some good defense played. But we're going to see what happens this year, man. But those are some of the players that I want to see. Like, this is a major year for them. This is a major year for a lot of some of the players that I named. And I want to see what they do this year. Because some of them guys, if they're not going to do that, then their career is going to pretty much just be, he was, but it didn't happen. All right? Like I tell you guys all the time, you know, there's no greatest of all time. There's no GOAT as long as time is still going on. And I tell you guys all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy that first week. And we might come back later. We'll holler at you later.